now kind of getting back to it and they kind of incorporated my academics into it, like it's affecting my social life, my academics, and now it's like, well, I don't know what to do, and it's just kind of overwhelming at times, and when it's not overwhelming, it's kind of just like, well, I want to stay in bed the entire day. But it's just kind of difficult to deal with it, and I don't really know how to go about it. That's troubled me for a while.
So can you elaborate more on what's really making you feel so overwhelmed?
I think it's kind of just figuring out how to maneuver myself, like in terms like, if I go here, will I see this person? If I go to this place, will I see this person? Like, and if I don't go there, what's the probability of them like showing up? And then I'm just like, well, the possibility of like me seeing them is like really high, and like every aspect, I'm just like, well, it's gets to the point where I'm kind of just overthinking it, and I just like try to avoid it as much as possible, but it ends up happening, and then it's like, damn it, I didn't do a good enough job, and then I keep trying to like keep avoiding, but obviously I'm not avoiding the problem. So it kind of like the fact that it keeps happening, even though I try to avoid it, kind of overwhelms me, and I'm kind of just like, well, if I can avoid it, what can I possibly do?
So can you tell me more about this relationship with this individual that you're speaking of?
Yeah, so we've we've been some pretty good friends for like a while or anything, and things kind of just went rocky, and I understand that things always go rocky in some friendships and relationships or whatever. But like I didn't expect it to go rocky so quickly, to the point where like it was just like bam, like everything just crashed all at once. And I was like, well, now what do I do? So while I understand that a lot of what I dealt with and felt and everything was pretty crappy, I'm still trying to like compose myself and keep myself, in check. But like I said, there are those days where I just feel like I don't want to get up from bed, like I don't want to be in school.
So if I'm getting this right, it seems like the effect that the relationship has had on you is kind of making you feel very frustrated and overwhelmed, and it's kind of really getting to you at this point.
Yeah, and honestly, the only time that I ever recall like not wanting to get up for school or anything was like a bunch of years back in high school. I was really just like, well, I don't want to get up for school. Like I don't have any type of motivation to just go to school, talk to my friends or anything. So it kind of like makes me think I'm regressing back to that stage. But that was like what, maybe 6 years ago or so. And I'm not there anymore. Like obviously I've matured a lot and everything, but now I wasn't expecting this to happen. So like I'm still trying to remain strong and get up for school and everything, but I find myself kind of just like isolating myself from people and everything. And at the same time, like I don't want to isolate myself, but I don't know what to do specifically.
So do you mind me asking what exactly happened with yourself and that individual?
Well, it's just, I don't want to say like too much about it because then it kind of, I don't want to get kind of triggered by it. I feel like that's kind of something that I don't want to express yet.
Okay.
But the like short story would be kind of like something screwed up happened, like screwed up. We both screwed up, but it seemed to us like one person screwed up more than the other. So when that happened, it was like, well, who's gonna take the fall for it? And it was like, well, we both took the fall for it, but it seems to me at least that I'm taking most of the fall for it. So like, doesn't seem fair, but there's nothing much I can do about it. Like I'm not trying to change anybody's mind, but I'm just like feel like I'm the one that took the fall for it mostly.
So you spoke about being or feeling the same way when you were in high school. Can you elaborate more on what that situation was?
Well, like back in high school, so like kind of another friendship that kind of went, south. So that really like, it was like a really bad time for me then, and like it affected me more socially than academically back then, because I was kind of like, oh well, I want to talk to my friends. I was just like isolating myself and everything. Kind of just be down. That's kind of like to be listening to like sad music and everything, whatever. But it was like a really dark point in my life where like I just like maybe 2 months or so just kind of like always down. People actually like, okay, I'm like, yeah, I'm okay, but like I'm not okay. And it was just a bad time, and I just thought to myself, like now I'm thinking to myself like, damn, I really can't go back to that because now it's like this situation, like this friendship that like I nurtured, that we both nurtured and everything, is much more significant than the one that happened 6 years ago. So the fact if I try to like really just think about even going back to the same place, it's gonna be that much worse because I feel like I'm gonna become like more sad or I don't know, depressed. But like I don't want to say depressed because I don't think I'm depressed. But I feel like it could go down that road, and like if I allow it to, it's gonna end up bad for me, and I'll probably just I don't know.
Can you tell me more about how the situation is affecting you emotionally, academically, or in any way, any other way that you feel like it is?
Well, emotionally in the sense that there's a lot of little things that kind of just like go off in my head. Like I could just be walking down the street or something and just like forget something that reminds me of like memories. I'm just like, damn, like that sucks. Like it happened and it was a good time. Then walk down to the other street and like the same thing happened. I'm like, well, now what? Like it's just a constant memories just kind of hitting me back to back, especially like in campus and everything. It's just kind of like they're always there. We just also like the same feeling of being overwhelmed because like everything's always there. So it affects me emotionally in the sense that well, stresses me out, one, gives me anxiety, and it's just really sucks. And then academically, I can't focus in class sometimes. So I'm just thinking to myself, well, how am I going to deal with this situation after I get out of class? So I've kind of slacking in my courses because of that, because I'm just overthinking all the time.
So you have brought up the idea of always overthinking things. Can you elaborate more on that?
Well, overthinking to me just kind of feels like I look at a simple situation and I just like pick it out like to its bare bones when reality is probably not even that deep. So like in terms of like me trying to avoid this person, I'm just thinking to myself, okay, I'm gonna go into this door instead. I'm gonna take this hall instead. I'm gonna walk this hall. I'm gonna take these stairs. Or I'm gonna avoid the elevators or the escalators. I'm gonna take the stairs like on the side of the building and everything. It's like I'm overthinking too much to the point where I'm like literally watching every step I take in order to avoid the person, and that's not healthy even for me because I'm just thinking, well, I'm just bringing a lot more stress to myself, and the more stress I bring to myself, the more I kind of just feel worn out. So I do that a lot, even while I'm in class. Like I said, this is why I've been slacking. I'm just thinking to myself, okay, well, this person probably has a class around here. I might see them like in the hall. I don't want to see them because I'm kind of anxious and everything. So I just overthink everything and just like my stomach explode.
So it seems like you have been doing everything in your power to kind of avoid the situation and avoid this individual, but it seems like avoiding it is kind of doing more damage to you.
I would say so. Perhaps it's not the best way, obviously. I know that it's not the healthiest way either, but I'm not sure how much better it would be to like actually not avoid it. I feel like if I try to just confront the situation and everything, it might just kind of bring out all these underlying emotions that I don't even know, like I'm not even aware of. So maybe just trying to avoid expressing myself.
And have you possibly thought of any, or what do you think are any possible solutions to your feelings of being overwhelmed and wanting to avoid the situation?
In terms of solutions, like besides avoiding, well, it's not really a solution, but in terms of like healthy solutions, it kind of just try to help me cope and everything and deal with the situation. I kind of distract myself either like while playing video games or just kind of like writing or reading. So like that, those are good distractions and not necessarily bringing me stress or anything. It allows me to reflect on whatever I need to reflect on, and it's obviously very helpful for me. But at the end of the day, it's like very individual things I do. So like they're only like about me. It's like it's only like me reading, me writing, me playing the video game. After that's over, after X amount of time, it's like, well, I'm getting thrown back into the real world. Like the situation's still there. Like whether I distract myself or like cope with it, but I reflect, the situation's always gonna be there. So they're temporary solutions. They're not really permanent.
You talk about feeling like
class with my friends. So like with my friends are kind of like looking at me and they're kind of like they know I'm not paying attention or something. They're like, hey, like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, I just shrug it off. But then it's like they know what's going on, and then it's like I can't be like, oh, like right in the middle of class just start talking about the situation and everything. So I just keep it to myself, and then next thing I know, like the class period's over, and they're like 30% of the information given.
So can you tell me more about the relationship you have with your current friends that are around you?
Well, they're very supportive. So like for the most part, like they know like kind of like what's going on, and they don't know everything. They still like they talk to me, they check up on me, they want to make sure I'm okay. So like I find that really helpful for me and everything. But at the same time, it's like, well, I can't really depend on them too much because at the end of the day, like when I go home, I don't have anyone but myself. So while I appreciate the support and everything, and I appreciate that I have a good relationship with them and everything, that they want to check up on me, at I don't necessarily feel like I have somebody there all the time like I used to.
So it kind of feels like you are really determined to kind of just solve everything or solve the problem on your own, and you don't necessarily feel comfortable telling other people about the extent to the relationship with this individual. Why is that?
I think I'm just trying to avoid breaking down. Like there are some people that know the situation and everything, but